guys, welcome to another vlog. It is Vlogtober day 9. Monday, October 9th, and the weekend is over. I actually ended up having a really good weekend. I went to Oktoberfest in my town, got a lot of stuff done around the house, went to Garvin Woodland Gardens yesterday, which was just wonderful, really healing to my soul and spirit to be out in the woods. Even though there were a lot of people there because it was a really nice day, I think another day, maybe later this week, I'm gonna go out to the Northwoods where I can be kind of alone in nature, and I'll take you guys with me when I do that. As for today, we are getting back on track with our BPD workbook, DBT workbook, all that good stuff. But first, let's go make coffee. We're down to only 4 packages of the Door County fall coffees. I think today we're gonna have Door County Maple, savor the classic taste of maple in every cup. And as always, this fall coffee sampler pack is linked down below in the description box. I love Door County coffee and can highly recommend it, especially their seasonal coffees. It is another cool fall morning. The dogs and I went on our mindfulness walk this morning and it was cold outside. I had to wear this big sweater and I wore sandals and I was regretting it about 5 minutes in. But I am loving these cold fall mornings. I love sweater weather. I love when it's cozy and you can just wrap up in a big oversized sweater with a cup of coffee and do your journaling in the morning. It's fantastic. Pouring in the water, brew. And you know what time it is. It's time to check the magical almanac for color and incense of the day. You can hear the dogs playing behind me, which I now have to show you. It's a happy Monday morning and the dogs are having their play session. They get really loud sometimes. All right, today is Indigenous Peoples Day, and the color of the day is silver. The incense of the day is narcissus, and the moon is waning Leo today. I do have some black narcissus incense, so let me go find that. All right, this black narcissus incense came from Gia's Traditions, one of my favorite incense shops that I talk about all the time on Etsy, and I will link to in the description box below. This stuff smells so good. So let's light it up. So today the apartment is gonna smell like narcissus and maple. That's a lovely combination. It's pretty bright outside, so I'm not gonna light an extra candle today. It's supposed to be really sunny out today. Right now it's 55 degrees and it is 8:23 a.m. And it's gonna get up to 81 today, so a little bit warmer. We've got like 5 days left of weather being in the 80s. And the low 80s, like 82 is like as high as it's gonna go over the next 5 days. But then after that, the highs are gonna be in the 60s and 70s. Yes, that is my favorite time of year and I'm so excited. When I can wear a sweater outside every time I step out the door, that's my kind of weather. My favorite temperature range is like 55 to 60. That's where I'm most comfortable. All right, it's maple coffee time. Smells very mapley, y'all. This is good coffee if you like maple. Flavor definitely comes through. I meant to try to make that in a French press and I totally forgot. Put in the creamer and give it a stir. And we've got maple coffee number 2. It's so weird with this maple coffee. It's like the more I drink it, the more I can taste the maple flavor. It doesn't hit me right away. I don't know, it's like an aftertaste or something. Okay, I'm gonna do my journaling now and I'll be back here in a little while to work on goals. Okay, journaling's done. It's about 9:30 a.m. and it's time to set our goals for the day. So today is Monday. I have a couple things on here for Tuesday because when I have appointments, I like to go ahead and write them down when I make them. That way, when I get to the week, I know what's coming up. So tomorrow I have the vet appointment for the dogs to get their vaccines updated. And then I also have a laser hair removal appointment tomorrow. So it's gonna be a busy day. But today, my first goal, of course, is to edit and publish a vlog. My second goal for today is to do another chapter in my BPD workbook. Next is to do another section in the DBT workbook. We're gonna work on both today. For my cleaning task today, I am going to clean the kitchen, and more than just a surface clean, like I'm gonna do the floors and wipe down the counters. And for my extra project today, I am going to be making face cream because I finally have everything to make it. I don't know why I put making face cream. Make face cream. I was writing as I was talking. These are my goals for the day, and I'm pretty sure that I can get all of these done. Right now, I'm gonna go get ready for the day, brush my teeth, put on makeup, change my clothes, all that good stuff, and go edit and publish a vlog. I'll see you guys back here in a couple hours so we can start working on the rest of the goals. Okay, I just finished editing and publishing yesterday's video, and now I'm ready to start on my BPD workbook for today. And I'm really excited about moving into this next section of the workbook. We are moving into part 2. First steps for growing beyond BPD. And the first chapter that we're going to be doing in this section is called Where You Are in the Process of Change. This says growing beyond your BPD and using adaptive and healthy response patterns to manage situations, relationships, and stress is a good thing. Having more control over your life is a powerful thing. That's why we're going to examine where you are within the stages of change. Knowing where you're at will challenge you to move into the other stages, and it will increase your readiness to continue to tackle your BPD. So there is an evaluation here called the Stages of Change evaluation that I'm going to complete, and then I'm going to find out which stage of change I am in right now. So I'm going to do this, and then I will let you guys know what I find out. I finished the evaluation, and I fell in between 2 different stages of change. And the workbook says you may find that you have 2 stages with the same score. This indicates that you're within or between these 2 stages, and that's okay. So I scored the highest in preparation and action, or somewhere within these 2. Obviously, I have not made it to maintenance yet, but I am preparing and acting. So for the preparation stage, it says in this stage, you're testing the waters of change. You've committed to doing things differently, and you're getting ready to challenge your BPD symptoms and address issues. This may be why you're going through this workbook. You may have developed a plan or a timeline for incorporating the exercises, techniques, and worksheets of this workbook into your schedule. And then the action phase, in this stage, you're engaged and ready to challenge, control, and defeat those negative beliefs, behaviors, and response patterns related to BPD. So I really feel that's pretty accurate. I tried to answer this evaluation as honestly as I could, and I am definitely in between those two stages. I'm way past pre-contemplation and contemplation. Like, I know that I have to change, and I'm doing everything in my power to change right now. So now I'm going to go through and do the exercises for these stages, the reflection exercises, and I will come back and share with you guys any other pertinent information I find in here. But this is actually really helpful to kind of let you know where you are in the process. Honestly, I think anybody who's like at pre-contemplation probably wouldn't even be doing this workbook unless I guess they were forced to or something, because I feel like at that stage, like pre-contemplation, at this stage you're not considering changing anytime soon. You're unaware that a problem exists, but family, friends, and coworkers are aware that there's a problem. See, I've been in that stage. I was in that stage for years and years and years, and I finally made it over to the contemplation stage. At this stage, you're aware that problems exist but remain uncertain if you want to change or what's involved with changing. I also stayed there for years. And then I finally moved into the preparation stage when I realized that my life was never, ever going to get better if I didn't take control of this. And now I have started to move into the action phase. And I'm really excited about that. I'm ready to change my fucking life and finally overcome my BPD, and I'm gonna do it. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna do these exercises and I'll come back and share anything else that I have to share from this chapter with you. So as I was going through and doing the exercises, one thing that I read that I wanted to share that I thought might be important is how you might feel when you're going through the process of change about your old behaviors. So this says, you'll go through the workbook and use the skills you learn, incorporating them into your views of self and others in the situations you're in. You're committing time and effort to change and growth. At times during this process of change, you may feel a sense of loss for the old negative beliefs, behaviors, and response patterns that you're leaving behind. Remember that this is a normal reaction, and you should continue to commit yourself to the process of defeating your BPD. I never even considered that I might feel a sense of loss for leaving behind like the old beliefs and behaviors and response patterns, but I think that might be true in a way, because it's something that you like cling to and hold on to as like a way to cope with the world, a way to navigate through the world. And you're going to be completely changing that. I don't know. It's going to be strange. It's going to be, maybe there will be a sense of loss, but it's just not something I ever thought about. If anybody out there is watching this and you've recovered from BPD or some kind of behavioral disorder, let me know if you felt a sense of loss for your old beliefs and behaviors. That's really interesting to me. So I did actually find this chapter very helpful to kind of figure out where I am in the process. And in the next chapter tomorrow, we're going to be exploring the beliefs, behaviors, and benefits that keep you stuck. Okay, time to cross off some items off our list. So I edit and published the vlog, and I did a chapter in the BPD workbook. Next, I'm gonna start working on my DBT workbook. But first, I'm really hungry and I wanna make something to eat. So I think I am gonna make some hamburger patties, some frozen hamburger patties in the air fryer and put some bacon and cheese on them. So this is actually what I had planned to make for dinner, but I decided I wanted to go ahead and cook it now before I clean the kitchen. That way I can get the air fryer and all that cleaned up while I'm cleaning the kitchen and I don't have to do it twice. So I'm gonna cook it now and I'm gonna eat it for like lunch. I'm gonna eat a hamburger for lunch and then I'll have 1 or 2 for dinner as well. So just double up on it. First I gotta get my air fryer out of the cabinet that I keep down here. People always ask me what kind of air fryer I have. It is a George Foreman something or other. George Foreman grill. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a George Foreman air fryer and grill. And I will link to it in the description box if you're interested. It works really well. For my burgers, I have these 100% pure beef burgers, Great Value brand that I get from Walmart in this giant frozen package. And I like these because they're frozen and they're really easy to deal with. And I don't have to worry about them going bad in my refrigerator if I get too depressed to cook for a while or something comes up in my life. They're frozen so they stay good. And they cook up really nicely in the air fryer. Now, I have never made them in this specific air fryer. I used to make them in my old air fryer all the time, so hopefully it'll work the same. So I'm just gonna open up my air fryer and put the burgers in. I'm gonna try to do 4 of them. There's 2, 3, and 4. So I'm not gonna season these yet. I'm gonna wait until they cook a little bit before I add any seasoning. And don't worry, I just stopped to wash my hands after handling the beef. Not gonna be spreading E. coli around my kitchen. Deep in the bowels of this junk drawer, I found the manual for the George Foreman Beyond Grill 7-in-1 indoor grill and air fry. I think it's supposed to be air fryer, but okay. That's the name of it. So inside it tells you like times and temperatures for different food. So this says frozen hamburger patties, 450, 17 to 20 minutes, and that's on grill. 17 to 20 minutes, damn. Okay, so we're gonna set this on grill, 450, 17 to 20, so I'll just do 20 and I'll just check it throughout. So they've been cooking for about 7 minutes now. And here's how they look. I'm gonna go ahead and add some seasoning to them. And of course, you know I'm gonna use my Grill Mates roasted garlic and herb seasoning. I love this stuff. Bella is just going insane from that other dog outside, y'all. Bella, I'm sorry. I'm sorry there's another dog barking outside. I'm so sorry. It's offending you so much, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, back to our burgers. I am just going to sprinkle some of the seasoning on the top of them like this. And I think I will turn them over now as well. There we go. Got them all flipped over. They look kind of gross now, but they'll be all right, I promise. Let's season this side. Okay. And now I'm gonna let them cook for the rest of the way. There's still 12 minutes on the timer, but I really don't think it's gonna take that long. I'm gonna check them in about 5 more minutes. 7 minutes left, let's check them now. Oh yeah, I think they are done. I'm gonna go ahead and take them out. I'm just gonna take these all out and put them on a plate. And I'll probably eat like 2 of these now and 2 later. I don't know, depends on how hungry I am. I am gonna add some cheese. So here's what they look like. Not the world's greatest burgers, but at least they're easy and tasty. So now I'm gonna add some of this Kraft Deli Deluxe American cheese. But the burgers are so small, I might only do like a half slice of cheese on each one. Yeah, that's gonna be good enough. And I'm also gonna heat up some of this pre-cooked bacon to put on top and make like little bacon cheeseburgers. So all I do is take this out, put it on a plate, and microwave it for about 30 seconds. It's really easy. And when you just need some bacon really fast, it's great. And I'm just gonna put 2 little slices of bacon on top of each one. Move it to a plate. And this is gonna be my lunch today. And then I have 2 more still for dinner. I am still sticking to my goal of eating twice a day. So actually today I'm probably gonna eat 3 times because this morning I had a little leftover steak. It wasn't very much, it was just a little small piece that I sliced up. But I ate that kind of for like a little snack this morning. And then I'm gonna eat these burgers now, and then I will probably eat at least 1 more of those burgers later today. So that's pretty good for me. I think I'm doing pretty good with my eating, at least the amount of food that I'm eating right now. I could definitely do healthier on the types of food, and I'm trying to get better about cooking my own stuff. Like I just started cooking burgers. Tomorrow I want to go to Harps and get some steaks and cook those in the air fryer. Then I'll probably do another pot roast. I usually alternate between burgers, steak, and pot roasts. Those are my favorite things to eat. And I just realized I forgot to say, because I forget, you know, this could be somebody's first time to ever watch my channel. The workbook that I was working in earlier is the Borderline Personality Disorder Workbook by Dr. Daniel Fox, and it will be linked down below in the description box if you want to check it out. And now I'm going to start working on my DBT skills workbook. This will also be linked down in the description box below if you're interested in this. So I've been working on distress tolerance in the DBT workbook. So this is stuff that's very, very incredibly helpful to me, especially the rest strategy. I've been using that and it's been working really well for me. Once again, I haven't been faced with a really like traumatic emotional situation to try to use it in yet, but I'm using it every opportunity I can. I have little sticky notes all over my house that say rest to remind me to use it. And then I've also been studying about radical acceptance, and the next distress tolerance skill that we're going to work on is distraction. Distract yourself from self-destructive behaviors. So the first section that's distracting yourself from self-destructive behaviors, it says one of the most important purposes of dialectical behavior therapy is to help you stop engaging in self-destructive behavior such as cutting, burning, scratching, and mutilating yourself. These are not problems that I have. I don't do these kind of behaviors. I do self-harm in different ways, like I harm myself with alcohol and food and impulsive behaviors and risky behaviors and stuff, but I don't like actually injure myself on purpose. I'm not sure, I'm still gonna read this section, but I don't know how much it's going to apply to my personal situation. So the first action it has on the list is, instead of hurting yourself, hold an ice cube in one hand and squeeze it. The sensation from the cold ice is numbing and very distracting. I have actually used cold as a coping mechanism to like shock myself out of a really hyper-reactive emotional state. I will put the cold rag on my face. I've talked about that before, put cold water on my face. So cold really is a good one. And then it says things like write on yourself with a red felt tip marker instead of cutting, snap a rubber band on your wrist, dig your fingernails into your arm. That section I don't think really applies to me because I don't do those types of behaviors, but if you did, I think some of these could be really helpful. So the next section is distract yourself with pleasurable activities. Sometimes doing something that makes you feel good is the best way to distract yourself from painful emotions. I find that to be really difficult. When I am having overwhelming, painful, negative emotions and I'm very upset, it's very difficult for me to try and go do something pleasurable. Like I just can't focus on it. This one is so hard for me. But I guess there are a couple that I found that I could do. So maybe you just have to find the ones that work best for you. So here is a huge list of pleasurable activities, and you're supposed to check the ones that you think you can do. So let me just show you like some of them. And I'm sure you can find these lists online too if you want to like read the whole thing. But I'm going to go through and check the ones that I think I can do and share those at least, because there are a lot of them. Well, I honestly didn't check very many of these at all because I was looking at it from the viewpoint of what could I do when I'm feeling emotionally overwhelmed, not just like pleasurable activities. It says check the ones you're willing to do, but like willing to do when I'm upset or just in general, I don't really understand. So I just checked the ones that I felt like I could do when I'm really emotionally overwhelmed. So talk to a friend on the phone. Sometimes I will talk to B if I'm really upset, or invite a friend to come over, or text message or email friends. So those are 3 I can do if I'm upset, depending on how upset I am. Go for a drive in your car. Make a movie or video with your smartphone, because I make videos, so I thought that was a good one to check. Paint your nails, which I don't know if I could actually do that if I was emotionally overwhelmed. Now I'm rethinking that one. Take a bubble bath or shower. Write a letter to a friend or family member. So sometimes if I'm feeling really upset and I want to text somebody, I will just write it down either in my journal or like in a notepad on my phone. I'll just write down what I want to say and not send it. And that usually makes me feel a lot better. And I'll think to myself, I'll read it again tomorrow and see if I still want to send it. And I never do. So that kind of helps me feel better. It's kind of like a coping skill because it's like you can just get all those feelings that you want to tell that person out without actually, dumping all that on them. And then write in your journal or diary about what happened to you today. I journal every day. And those are the only ones I checked. I guess I don't understand the assignment here, okay? But it does say it's also helpful to engage in these types of activities on a regular basis. You should try to do something pleasurable every day. So I think it is wanting you to like choose things that you could do just for pleasure in general. So there's a lot of stuff on here like exercise, go hiking. Like, of course, I love to go hiking. If I'm emotionally overwhelmed, am I gonna put my boots on and go for a hike? No, but just to do something pleasurable, yeah. So the next section is distract yourself by paying attention to someone else. I really like this idea and never even considered it before. But it says do something for someone else. Call your friends and ask if they need help doing something, such as a chore, grocery shopping, or house cleaning. Call up someone you know, offer to take them out to lunch. Go outside and give money to the first needy person you see. And also doing things like volunteering and stuff like that. So I guess I have considered that. So some more of the distraction techniques described in the book are distract yourself by leaving. Like obviously if you're in a really bad situation, better just to walk away. It says if you're in a very painful situation with someone and you recognize that your emotions are going to overwhelm you and possibly make the situation worse than it is already, then it's often best to just leave. I struggle with this because when I'm in a painful situation and emotions are high, the last thing I want to do is leave. Like I want to solve this. Like I don't think if I leave, it's going to make me feel better. But in the end, it would probably be better to put some distance between me and the person. Rather than just stay there being emotionally overwhelmed and getting nowhere. But it's like part of me just wants it to be fixed so badly that walking away doesn't even seem like a possibility to me. It seems like a terrible idea. So this is one that I definitely struggle with, but I probably need to practice that. And then it says distract yourself with tasks and chores. This is something that I definitely do. Like over the past week, I cleaned my whole entire apartment, and it is a distraction. It does give me something like I feel like it's going to make me feel better. It distracts me from what's going on and, the pain and stuff that I'm going through, and gives me something to focus on, something mundane to focus on. So that really does help me as a distraction. So it says things like wash the dishes, clean your room or your house, clean out your closet and stuff like that, redecorate a room or organize things, mow the lawn, do your homework. To me, this is my homework, so all those kind of things are like really helpful for me personally. And so the next one, it says distract yourself by counting. This is something that I have done instinctually since I was a little child. I count things, and this is just a self-soothing technique that I do. I do it probably multiple times a day, every day of my life, and I count lines on things. So anything like tiles on a floor, window panes, I know exactly how many lines the window panes in my house have because I count them over and over and over again. I'll count blinds. I'll count lines on furniture, anything that has straight lines. I count all of the lines on the bookshelf and just, I don't know. It's just something that's very soothing to me. It distracts me from any other thoughts that I'm having. I can just focus on the counting. And it doesn't matter if I know how many are there. It's actually soothing to me if I do know how many are there and then I count them and they add up to that number. And then that, I don't know why, that's very satisfying to me. The book recommends counting your breaths, to just sit down and count your breaths. That could be helpful, I guess. And then it says count anything else. That's what I do. It says if you're too distracted by your emotions, simply count the sounds that you're hearing. This will take your attention outside of yourself. Or try counting the number of cars that are passing by, the number of sensations that you're feeling, or anything else you can put a number on, such as the branches of a tree you're looking at, or lines on the window pane, or lines on the floor tiles, or lines on the ceiling tiles. That's what I personally count. And that really is a helpful technique for me. I didn't know that was something that was like considered a distraction technique, but it is something I do to self-soothe. So the next section in the workbook is to create your distraction plan, which is what I'm going to do. And of course, it starts with rest, which is relax, evaluate, set an intention, and take action. That's probably the most important thing I feel like I've learned so far in DBT. But I am going to fill this out and create my distraction plan based on the things that I can use personally to distract myself, such as cleaning, taking a bubble bath, counting things, Those are probably my main ones. Oh, writing in my journal is another big one that I can do to distract myself. And sometimes if I'm having a really bad day, I won't just do my morning journaling. I'll go back and write more pages later. If I'm really feeling a lot of pain that day or a lot of emotions or negative emotions that day, I will go back and write more. So yeah, I'm gonna go through these activities and through this and create my distraction plan. And then it says, this is also really helpful. If you're also kind of want to do something similar to this for yourself, write your chosen distraction techniques below. When you're done, write them down again on a sticky note to carry around with you in your wallet or purse, or use a note app to record them on your smartphone. So I think I'm going to write mine down on a sticky note and put it in my bag so that I can remember that. I think that's a great idea. Like if I'm starting to feel overwhelmed and I need to use a distraction technique, just to pull it out and look at it and remember my distraction techniques. That just keeps it accessible in your mind too, just having it with you. Okay, distraction plan complete. So I'm gonna mark off doing a section in the DBT workbook. And now we're going to clean the kitchen. Okay, the first thing I have to do is take out my trash because it is overflowing and gross. So let me get the bag out and take this out to the dumpster outside, which I should have done this morning. Oh, because it's hot outside now. And I need to take my sweater off before I go outside, or I'm gonna burn alive out there. It's like 81 degrees. Okay, I'm taking this out to the dumpster. Put on my sandals, my dumpster walking sandals. Also creek beds and go into the dumpster and taking the dogs out. Okay. And now I have to put my sweater back on because I keep it a brisk 68 degrees in my apartment at all times. I like it cold. Okay, got the dishwasher loaded, but I'm not going to start it yet until after I make my face cream. That way I can put any dishes or anything dirty from that in here and run it all at once. But now I also have to clean out this disgusting air fryer pan. I'm going to use my homemade dish soap, and I'm just going to squirt a bunch of it in there, followed by some hot water. And we're going to use the Scrub Mommy to scrub this down. Like I said, I did pour hot water in here while it was still hot to kind of like deglaze it, and I think it worked. Everything seems to be coming off pretty easily. All right, that's not bad at all. And I'm just gonna let this dry in the dish rack once I finish cleaning it. Cleaning your air fryer while it's still hot is definitely the way to go. Don't let it sit there for a day like I usually do. Okay, so I haven't quite finished the kitchen, but I thought I wanted to stop and go ahead and make this face cream now. That way I can just finish cleaning the counters and the floors after that in case I spill anything or make a mess. Here are the ingredients we need. So this is cocoa butter, sweet almond oil, beeswax, aloe vera gel, orange essential oil. I would normally use lavender, but I don't have any, so we're gonna use orange instead. Or rose would be good to use too, but rose is really expensive. Lanolin and some vitamin E. I don't know how much this is gonna make, so I do have several glass jars over here to pour it into with lids and labels. And I have my new blender that we are going to use today. So this face cream that I'm making is Rosemary Gladstar's famous face cream. It's supposed to be really, really good, and I'm excited to make it. This is my first time ever trying it. I am using the recipe that you can find on Mother Earth News, which I will link to down below in the description box. But there are lots of varieties of this recipe out there, and even in Rosemary's books, you can find different varieties. There's one that uses calendula oil that I would really like to make next, but I don't have any cosmetic calendula oil made. I only have medicinal, which we need to make into a salve, and now that I have my blender, we can. So I've got so many projects coming up, but right now we're gonna get started with this one. So first of all, we have 2/3 cup of water. You're supposed to use distilled water or rose water. I am using spring water, so hopefully that's good enough because that's what I have. So to the water, we are gonna add 1/3 cup of aloe vera gel. So I have another glass measuring cup here, and let me see, where's the 1/3 cup? There it is. So I'm going to fill this up to here, and then we're going to add it in. So I do have an aloe vera plant. People were asking me why I didn't use that. It's because this requires quite a bit of aloe vera gel. The recipe calls for commercially prepared aloe vera gel as well, which means I think it needs to have the citric acid in it. And like I said, it needs quite a bit of gel, and I don't think I could get that much out of my plant without like stripping it bare. So that's why I'm using this instead. All right, I'm gonna say that's close enough, and we are gonna add this to our water. I'm just gonna mix that up. Then we're gonna add, it says 1 to 2 drops of essential oil is desired, so I'm gonna add a couple drops of orange essential oil. 1 to 2 drops doesn't seem like a lot, but I might do a couple more. All right. And then finally, we're gonna add, I'm just gonna add a squirt of this vitamin E oil. The recipe calls for vitamin A and E as desired. I wish I had some vitamin A to put in here. I might try that next time, but right now all I have is vitamin E. So I'm just gonna add a squirt of that and mix it all up. And then we're gonna set this aside. So now in a small pan, we are gonna combine the oils. So I'm gonna start with the sweet almond oil, and I'm gonna use 3/4 of a cup, which is quite a bit of oil. I think this is gonna make a lot of cream. I hope I have enough containers for it all. So I'm gonna pour the 3/4 into the pan, 3/4 cup. And I'm almost out of sweet almond oil, so I need to order some more of that. Use this a lot for cosmetics, and you can just use this as a moisturizer by itself. I have great aging genes. My mom, when she passed away, she was in her 60s and she looked like she was like 45. And she smoked her whole life and drank, so she was looking pretty good, and she swore by sweet almond oil as her only moisturizer. And I used it for a long time just straight as a moisturizer, but I honestly prefer a cream, so I'm excited to make this cream out of the sweet almond oil. Next is 1/3 cup of cocoa butter or coconut oil, but I am using these coconut butter like little pearls, and we're gonna put them in there and just melt them into the oil. I'm measuring out 1/3 of a cup like that. I hope that works out. It might be too much, I don't know. We're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of lanolin. That stuff is sticky too. I'm gonna try to use like a butter knife to get it out into the pan. It's really sticky and hard to get out. The recipe calls for 1/2 to 1 ounce of grated beeswax. So I am gonna measure it out here in a cup because it doesn't really matter. We just need to get it up to somewhere between 1/2 and 1. Okay, that's too much. That's a big ass chunk. We're gonna take that out there. That'll work. 0.85 ounces. I honestly don't know if there's any benefit to using more or less beeswax, and since this is my first time trying it, I'm just gonna go kind of in the middle. And now technically you're supposed to do this over a double boiler, but I'm just gonna do it on super low heat, get directly in the pan and get this all melted. And I'm just gonna keep a really good eye on it. And I'm just gonna turn the heat to the lowest possible it will go. Okay, it's been a few minutes and the cocoa butter has melted, but the beeswax has not. I remember the last time I used this beeswax, it took it forever for it to melt. Like I thought it wasn't going to melt, but it eventually did. So we'll get there. All right, y'all, looks like it's finally melted. So now we are gonna pour the oil into the blender. I really hope that was recording because my battery just died. So what I did is I took the melted oil and I poured it into the blender. If it wasn't recording, this is what it looks like. So here's the oil in the blender, and we're gonna let this sit here until it cools to room temperature and turns white and creamy. I don't know how long that's gonna take. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, but I'll be back when it's ready so we can finish up. I believe this is cooled down to room temperature. I hope. It still looks a little liquidy underneath, but I'm worried it's gonna get too hard on top, so I think we're gonna go ahead and try to mix it. The recipe says when the mixture has cooled, turn on the blender at its highest speed, and in a slow, thin drizzle, pour the water mixture into the center vortex of the whirling oil mixture. Oh, it keeps going. I took the little middle part out of the blender. I've got our water mixture here. Okay, and now I'm gonna slowly pour this in. Ooh, it's looking very creamy. It says when the blender coughs and chokes and the cream looks thick and white like buttercream frosting, turn off the blender. You can slowly add more water, beating it in by hand with a spoon, but don't overbeat. The cream will thicken as it sets. Okay, I don't know if we're quite done. Yeah, it's not gonna blend anymore. We're gonna have to blend the rest of the water in by hand. Here is what our cream looks like. It's getting pretty thick, but we still have some water mixture left. I'm gonna use a little whisk to beat this in. Just so we can get all the ingredients in there. Oh, this is nice and thick, y'all. It looks really good. Okay, you've got to see this. Look at this. Look how creamy it is. Oh my goodness. It smells like a dessert. So now we're gonna pour it into the jars that I've prepared. And it made quite a bit of cream. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I think I'm gonna have to get a spoon and start scraping. No, it's coming. It's coming. It is gorgeous. Smells really good too. I can't wait to use this. Well, I'd say it was a success. My first time with Rosemary Gladstar's face cream recipe, it filled up almost 2 of these large jars. I'm gonna have moisturizer for weeks and weeks, maybe months. It made a lot. And oh, it smells and feels so nice. It's so creamy. I can't wait to use this on my face. But I'm just gonna put some on my hands right now just so I can kind of feel. Yeah, you could definitely use this as hand lotion too, but it's gentle enough that you can use it as face moisturizer, which is what I'm making it for. And like I said, I'll link the recipe that I use down below if you wanna try it out for yourself. It's really easy to do. If you have all the ingredients. I get all of my ingredients for this type of stuff mostly from Brambleberry or Mountain Rose Herbs. All right, I'm gonna let this sit and I will let you know in tomorrow's vlog when I use it as a moisturizer how it works out for that application. And also I did label them and date them. I just wrote face cream and the date. I know what's in my face cream, but I guess you could write like almond oil moisturizer or something like that. I just put face cream because I know what I made. And I'm gonna store these in the bathroom and they should be good in the morning to use. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here because I am tired today. I still have to sweep and mop and finish cleaning out the blender. And let me tell you, cleanup after that was a bit of a bitch because it's just oil everywhere. So it kind of sucked cleaning it up, but luckily it made so much cream that I'm not gonna have to make any for a long time. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in tomorrow's vlog. Bye.